Shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakha HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and a hearty shalom to the prophets of that body. Okay? And shalom to the 144,001/3. May peace and blessings be upon your households. All right? And I know a lot of you are feeling frustrated with this kingdom, are feeling real pissed off with this place, right? But as Elder Kazaki Allah would say in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai, all right, the Lord got a roof over your head, you got a way to earn your daily bread, you know what I mean? Even though we're pissed off and frustrated, we want the kingdom, we have to go according to Yahweh Bashem Yashai's timeline, and it's coming soon. That time is coming soon, all right? For the short duration, we got these blessings, but once that charagma, the RF to the I to the D, to the CHI to the P, Revelation 13:16, once that comes into play, right, you'll be homeless. Okay, but we'll see how the Lord will make things play out. All right, we've already won the battle. We just have to go through the motions and play your position. All right. Even though we admire our elders and prophets, yes, it's a nice thing or a nice thought process to have. Say, man, I want to be like them, but you can't be like them, As Brakti Yahweh Bashem Yashai, the Lord has given each Jake a certain portion, all right, of what they need to do with that portion, right? And so you play your position. Everybody cannot be a CEO, all right? Everybody cannot be a managing director, all right? So play your position. Now, nevertheless, before I start digressing further, right, I want to focus on wild animals changing places, going to different locations. All right, we've all seen the movie I Am Legend, 2007 movie with Will Smith, the Mo, right? We've all seen that, okay? And in the movie, you see lions and other types of wild animals, right? And some offshoots of different types of wild animals running around through the city of New York, right? And we've also seen the video, I'm sure you guys have as well. It's from 1975. I've seen some other recent ones as well where lions and tigers, the first couple I've seen are Edomites being eaten up by lions and lions eating up the head of the household, some Edomite. And there's a small hatter as well in South Africa, I believe it was, right? That got munched up by some lions in front of their family back in 1975. There's other footage of recent occurrences, and these things happen all the time. And there's also an Elamite that got munched up in, I think it was Delhi or Mumbai, right? He fell into an enclosure where tigers are, because tigers are more indigenous to India or Asia, and lions are, I believe, lions are mainly from Africa, right? Or the multitude of countries in Africa, right? So we've seen those videos because most of the hopeful elect are on a similar temperature and vibration in terms of some of the videos we watch, be it for the edification, the word coined by Elder Apostle Gabar, Brakti Havashim Yashai, for our edification process in the spirit, and also in terms of entertainment, we watch the same kinds of videos, I believe anyway, right? For the most part. And, so we've seen those videos. Obviously, I can't play it because you know how YouTube get down. Even though it's here, a recent one I found here, which is 11 days ago, right? It's on Real News. And it's basically about a zookeeper that was eaten also by a pack of lions. And this was in Malaysia or the Philippines, one or the other anyway. I think it's the Philippines with the name that they mentioned. I'm not going to play it, right? Okay, because we know what wild animals will do to humans when they are hungry, all right? Because we are in a world where it's, an ecosystem built according to this world, how things work out. And sometimes in certain cases, actual humans do get eaten. And that's all in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. that these people, their end comes in a certain way because the Lord has ordained it that way, whether they're Israelites or heathens, right? I've just got a little bit of a footage here. I can't play the one from Africa, even though it's a very lovely view to see of Edomites getting destroyed, right? Because it's a beautiful thing, right? And but also, we can't play it due to uh, the YouTube police. But nevertheless, I have got some scriptures lined up and also some other footage. Salaki, not footage. I asked a question, right, to, what is it called again? AI overview in Google, right? When society collapses, what will happen to all the zoos, right? AI responded, if societal collapse occurred, the fate of zoos and their animals would likely be dire. You know, dire straits, the term dire straits, which is basically very serious. Okay, so if societal collapse occurred, the fate of zoos and their animals would likely be dire, as they rely on a functioning society for funding staff and infrastructure, leading to potential animal escapes. Potential animal escapes. So therefore, there'll be a bunch of animal escapes. All right, neglect or euthanasia, right? With no public support or resources, zoos would struggle to maintain operations and conservation efforts would falter. Okay, there'll be lots of faults. While some animals might be released, others will be left to fend for themselves or be euthanized due to a lack of care. Euthanized, I believe, euthanization, I think it's like where they delete the animals, inject them with something or whatever, because they can't be cared for. Like they put down dogs or whatever, that people don't want or that are dangerous. They'll do the same thing for animals. That's if there's limited staff there, but there will be a lot of these enclosures opening, and some of them will be done by design as well for these enclosures to open. Because remember, the elites want a significant amount of the population to be deleted, so they have control over 500 million, I believe, is what their guidelines state according to their doctrine that they follow on the left-hand side, right? So that's what's going to happen, all right? And we've already seen. I mean, it was a while ago, of course. I've made videos of bears showing up in at gas stations and lions and panthers showing up in different locations, but I couldn't find those news stories again, right? And we know who's in control of these internet avenues and roads, right? Okay, the powers that be, whose world it is. Even though they are losing grip of it, they still have at least somewhat of a little of their pinky fingernail still dug in where they can control stuff, because this is their world. It's Edomite world. It's a so-called white man's world, right? And a heathen's world. So, okay, Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Okay, the Lord will use humans to create to carry out the Lord's work of deleting people in a horrific manner, in a painful manner, in a way where individuals will be kept partially alive and actually see the individual, the person, or the animal munching into them. That video from 1975, you can Google it on YouTube. A family in Africa eaten by a pack of lions or whatever. The man was alive holding his camera while the lions were eating his guts, his stomach, his intestines, man. This motherfucker was alive for a couple of minutes before he passed on, right? Let's go to verse, that was Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28. Let's go to 29. Fire and hail and famine, and death, all these were created for vengeance. Verse 30. All right. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. All right. All right, and they're ready. Okay, certain animals have been created and born to delete, X, Y, and Z individuals at a certain point in time. The Lord has got everything in place, man. All right, verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Even the animals are in order, man. They ain't going to transgress the Lord's word. They're going to go out there and do what Yahweh Bashim Yashai wants them to do. All right? All right? And as scary and as dangerous as this is, hey, this is the Lord, man. Okay? That's what they call the Lord Al Shadia, man. Strange demon-like power. We're talking about the power of heaven and earth, man. Earth, man, and beyond. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. You don't want to play with the Lord, bruv. Okay? All right? A lot of you think that you can control your own destiny and all that shit. Hey, man, keep playing around. All right? Keep thinking to yourself that you got, the whole world in your hands when Yahweh Bashim Yashai has a whole world in his hands. All right? Or in his hand. You know? Man, hey, keep playing. All right? Because a lot of you people have got judgment like this coming towards yourself. Okay? Because when society collapses, as AI responded, right? A lot of these animals, right, because of the lack of staff and funding, a lot of these animals will be let loose. And some of those will escape. All right? Will escape. Okay? Because you can't use, because a lot of these animals need that human contact as well. All right? I mean, I'm sure they've got some of these animals CHIP'd as well and controlling their mind. So these animals need to get out of this hell as well, as much as Jake. All right? All right? What's this footage? Oh, yeah. You know? All right, and I was just checking in the UK, right? I had an article here, okay? Because the UK, right, is right. You can, like as mentioned, I've mentioned this numerous times before in videos. You can fit the England or the UK into Texas 5 times. All right. So the UK is big, right, but it's not as big as the landmass of America, man. All right. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is an old article from about 3 years ago. All right, but it's from The Guardian. Nearly 2,500 dangerous wild animals kept by private collectors in England. So obviously there's private collectors as well, right, with 2,500 different types of wild animals. And then you've got the zoos. And then you've got the ones that are bugged out, drug addicts and heavy metal heads, Edomites, and other crazy MFers out there that have animals that are undeclared to the government, all right? Or they find some wild animal in the forest because Esau forgot to count the cobras or whatever, and somehow the Lord keeps that serpent or that animal at bay, and some crazy Edomite who's got maybe an acre of land somewhere in some farming type area in England, brings up the animal, because you know how Edomites are with animals, right? Okay. Nearly 2,500 dangerous wild animals kept by private collectors in England. Survey finds tigers, alligators, venomous snakes, and deadly spiders among animals being kept. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So when all hell breaks loose, you got the zoos popping open, right? And by design, a lot of these gates, as they say, a lot of these gates will be unlocked. All right, they'll probably be automated. They'll probably press a button, and the green button will be pressed, and all the prison doors of these zoos will fling open. With the lions, rhinos, tigers, venomous snakes. And along with these private collectors, I'm sure these private collectors, unless they got like a bunch of money, I'm sure their enclosures that they have where the animals are kept or where serpents are kept are not as solidified as a proper zoos would be. So they're going to escape much easier. Either way, Yahweh Shemashah is going to make them escape. All right. Let's read this part. Survey finds tigers, alligators, venomous snakes, and deadly spiders among animals being kept. Mountain lions, alligators, and zebras are just a few of the 2,500 dangerous wild animals being kept by private collectors in England, according to a Survey Council licensing data. So that's just what's been declared. All right. And you know how people don't like to declare everything. Okay. And there's a lot of that. You know, the same way that guns are illegal in the UK, but there's motherfuckers out there that have all sorts of firearms. Obviously not declared because they're illegal in the UK, unless you are some kind of firearms police officer or some kind of agent of MI6 or one of them ABCD kind of groups, you know, or unless you are kind of I don't know, some kind of agent, you're allowed to keep some kind of small firearm, you know. Or ex-army soldier, you're allowed to keep a firearm, or you live on a farm, because over there in the UK, if you live on a farm, shotguns are legal. So, but there's a lot of illegal activity. So, same thing with that, you know. This list includes Bactrian camels in Sedgemoor, grey wolves in West Berkshire, you know, honey badgers in Cornwall, and deadly snakes in Bolsover. The survey found that Buckinghamshire Council area leads the country with 325 dangerous wild animals registered, including black buck antelope, capuchin monkeys, and lemurs and ostriches. West Oxfordshire District Council, with 200 exotic animals licensed, came second, with a larger total, including animals at Haythrop Zoological Gardens, an unlicensed zoo run by ex-circus trainer Jim Clubb, who hires out animals, including trained hippos, tigers, and zebras for TV shows, films, and private parties. Private parties. Now, you know what kind of parties they are, isn't it? Where Edomites are. Because Jake is not going to hire no animals for their party. All right? What Jake wants at a party is a whole bunch of beautiful single women. You know, that's the kind of entertainment we want. You know, for you know how it is. Jake wants the ladies, right? These Edomites, man, they Edomites want midgets and they want donkeys. Sickos, man. Anyway, Cornwall came in third place with 165 dangerous wild animals registered. All right. 14 different types of species of exotic feline, cheetahs, mountain lions, snow leopards. I'm just gonna go through the key parts, man. Police around the country received 32 calls about big cat sightings in 2021, and last year, Devon and Cornwall police recorded a sighting of a lynx in Helston. All right. What's a lynx? Lynx animal. What does that look like? Let's go to images. A lynx is a medium-sized wildcat from the genus Lynx, known for its ear tufts and bob tail. Oh shit, yeah. Kind of like a prehistoric type cat, right? That's what it looks like. And then anyway. England also has numerous bison farms where the animals are farmed for meat. Okay. With 105 of the North American beasts roaming the plains of Melton, Mowbray, Leicestershire. You got the bison here as well, which is a North American beast here in the UK. At Bush Farm in Warminster, Wiltshire, and another 40 at Ranch Durham. All right, so yeah, there's a bunch of animals, and these are the only ones that I declared. Okay, all right, and we've just read what's going to happen if society collapses and what's going to happen with these animals, right? Okay. 2 Esdras 5 and 8. There shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off scent again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. We already know what YNs are like. Okay, those are the monsters that have been birthed by these crazy women over the last 30 years. You know, even prior to that, but especially in the recent generation, talk about regression. Okay, talk about going backwards. And these motherfuckers are monsters, man. And they're women, and their mothers are menstruous women. All right. And obviously, you know, we've read stories and seen articles here and there of lions and tigers showing up in cities, cobras in people's apartments, you know, wild cats, foxes. I mean, we've had here in the UK, we've had an influx of foxes, you know, similar to the lynx, but, you know, foxes are quite dangerous as well. That you can't really approach them. They'll hurt you. There's been instances where foxes have, you know, children have been left, babies have been left on a sunny day in their back gardens while their mothers are probably preparing the milk or making food for the baby or preparing lunch for their husband or whatever. And sunny afternoon, and a baby's been left in the garden, and lo and behold, the baby's crying, and the mother comes out running out. What the hell's going on? And the baby's fingers have been chewed off by a fox. All right, and and a fox looks like this. I'll show you what a fox looks like. Image of a fox. This is what they look like, and they're not cute or furry, or they're quite dangerous and horrific. They've got some sharp ass teeth. They've been running around here a lot, man. I never, listen. As a child in the 80s, I never saw them a lot. You might see one here and there, but now they are everywhere, bruv. There's probably like 5 or 6 on each street. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Wait till the hardcore animals are released by these damn devils. And they're going to release them. They'll probably go around in a truck or some kind of huge, I don't know, 12-wheeler, 16-wheeler kind of type vehicle in the middle of the night, driving through, right? And they'll probably open up the shutter and say, okay, yeah, release 10 cats here, 10 cats there. They'll probably do that as well. And open up the zoos when that time comes and society collapses. All right. And then you got the registered animals, then you got the unregistered animals. So it's going to get real gruesome out here. All right. So you're damn right, these animals are going to change their places. And they're going to get down. They're going to appease the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai. All right. And then you got the animals to worry about. And then you got, with race wars and Jacob's trouble, marauders, martial law troops, racist groups, you women are in trouble, especially those of you that aren't covered by a man of the Lord. Okay, or you don't have the covering of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. For women out there that are single, that are being somewhat, listening to the men of the Lord and try and do right, So it's going to be it's going to be scary to men, a lot of men too, a lot of, it's going to be scary out here. It's going to be the worst time ever in history. So just think about that. All right. Try and get your head around that. All right. And for a lot of you that might escape a certain situation, a certain scenario, Amos 5:19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So wherever you go, it's not going to be like Final Destination where you can try and run away from the Lord. And not unless the Lord wants to send his angels on the left-hand side to play around with you so the Lord can get some entertainment, right? So to speak, right? Unless the Lord wants to play around with you, prod you like, with a stick, saying, play around with this fool for a bit before you delete him, The Lord might do that. But either way, you're not going to escape, all right? You might escape from a lion or a bear, and then you run inside a house. You locked all the doors, you shut all the windows, sealed them, you think that you're safe. And lo and behold, the cupboard door squeaks open, The door opens up and there's a massive cobra there, and it just bites you, grabs you by the throat, sinks his teeth in, and just bites the shit out of you, and you turn grey and you drop dead, slowly choking on your own blood. The Lord can do things like that, man. It's going to be scary out here, all right? Me saying scary, scary, scary is not going to emphasize the fear, but I'm trying to, so letting you know what time it is, and this is scary to me too. But but then again, on the flip side, we believe in Yahweh Bashem Yashai, and we have a confidence in the Lord that the Lord will protect us. All right. I'm trying to see if I shall read the one on Elisha. And the Lord is with it, with deleting even adults and children, all right, by wild beasts, okay, because the Lord controls both sides, the right-hand side and the left-hand side. Isaiah 45 verse 7. Here's an account of where Elisha, I believe, was called bald head by some young children or some young boys, right? And Elisha prayed to the Lord, and let me just read it, actually. 2 Kings 2:23. 2 Kings 2:23. And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. So they basically called him a bald head, you know. Today you call somebody, I don't know what you call them today. What do you call them? You might call them peanut head or something, or something along those lines. Offend somebody, but they were very offending one of the men of the Lord, man. Right? Go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head. Right? And verse 24. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. So Elisha cursed them, right? And there came, right after cursing them, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, sent, right, 2 she-bears. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 42 children of them. Okay? And I believe that means, tear 42 children. There were 42 children, and tear 42 children of them. So you can imagine in the ancient world, okay, bears are big today. Can you imagine how bigger the bears were in the ancient world and how fierce they were, right? And they probably tore those children up with no relent, with pure anger, and passion, the way somebody would dig into a well-done steak and mashed potato and some greens, and finish up the gravy with some crusty toasted bread with a little bit of butter on it, and you just sop up all that sauce, right? And gravy and that. And you can imagine how these bears probably just went in with passion and just dove in and just tore those little children up, man. So the Lord ain't playing out here, bro. Okay, and it's going to be more gruesome now. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. All right, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so we're coming into that time where these things are going to happen. These teeth of wild beasts are real, man, and it's going to happen. All right, and it's going to happen in your lifetime. It's going to happen when society collapses. Okay, because when society collapses, there's no electricity. There's no electricity holding these doors and these enclosures, keeping them closed. And then when everything shuts down, and it's obviously there's going to be natural occurrences, all created by Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, but also on purpose situations, all created by Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, where He's just going to let these certain people that are in position of power to just press the green button where everything is just opened up, and it's just complete chaos in these streets. All right, and it's going to be real deadly out here, and that time is coming very soon. All right. Okay, so this is the time that we're approaching. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. All right, but the elect are going to be okay. You elect are safe. All right, you are covered. You are covered with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai's wings. Psalms 91:11. All right, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Nothing will touch you, elect. All right, all these things are for the heathen and the 2/3. All right, and we pray we are not part of that 2/3 number. And that's some scary shit to be in, and a scary predicament to be in, and it's very scary. All right, and the phone had to chime in with that one. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.